to put your toys away, little man.
I can't. You see, I need the money to buy more toys. I love toys. They can play songs. They can dance. They can even eat money. Oh boy, can they eat money. All my money.
Alright, and welcome to Collector Cast. I'm your host, TJ Duckett, and I have with me Gene Unick and Ian Reed. You may recognize the three of us or our voices from the previous podcast that we were on, Three Dudes Podcast, as well as the TF Beyond Toy Podcast. So it's not an overall change of the podcast and the format and things like that, but fact is, we've grown, our collections have grown, and our interests have grown, our lives have changed, things like that. So we've got a lot more to talk about. Well, we actually always did, but we decided to just expand our podcast to go ahead and match that. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and thank you for everybody who's emailed me or inquired about the previous podcast and when we were coming back and things like that. It is very good to be back and very good to talk to you guys too. So let's go ahead and get this started. I just want to see how you guys have been. It's been about a month and a half, maybe even 2 months since the last time we've talked. Gene, we'll start with you, man. How have you been? What's new?
A lot. Yeah, a lot of life changes, actually. We recently welcomed our second child last month on April 3rd. My son Benjamin graced us with his presence, and
it's awesome.
As listeners of our other podcasts know, I formally finished my collegiate career, and I'm officially Dr. Unick now. So I received my PhD at the end of March. So a couple of big changes there. But other than that, I guess 2 big life changes are good enough for me. So other than that, pretty good.
For sure, man. And congratulations on both those things because, I've seen pictures, most definitely, of little Benjamin and very handsome young man, and congratulations on furthering your education and, getting to that point, because I know, especially starting school again this summer, it's a lot harder to do and, finish your education and things like that when you're grown up. You've got a spouse, you've got bills, like, you got 50 dogs, like that kind of thing. So, responsibilities and priorities and things like that. Props to you for being able to, get it done, man. Good on you. Good on you. No problem. And Ian, how about you, dude?
And to follow that up, I've accomplished nothing.
Nice.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Congratulations.
No major life changes here. Just kind of been doing what I do, and I'm just enjoying a little lull at work and the fact that the days are getting longer. And just been kind of chilling out. Me and my wife went down to the beaches a week ago, kind of walked around down there. But other than that, saw Iron Man, which I know we can't talk about because Gene, at least I accomplished that, Gene. Saw Iron Man.
Yeah.
But that is literally the only thing I have as a leg up on him. So I'm pretty much just not doing much other than enjoying life, which I'm totally fine with. So, but I know you outdid me as well. You've got a new life change going on there with a new addition. So I'll pass it over to someone who's done something.
It's all right. Well, we haven't exactly done too much. Since Christmas, we've bought a total of 3 beagles. So now we don't have a house full of animals because there's more than enough space to fit us and the dogs and things like that. Definitely not animal hoarders, not dog people, no dog hair on me, no dog smell on me, like that kind of thing. But, we had to make a conscious decision. And I was actually saying this on another podcast that I was a guest host of or whatever on Saturday, that the thing is, Ian, you have a dog, so you understand this. When it comes to, like, puppy training, getting them acclimated, tolerating puppy not bowels, but I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, bowels. Like, that kind of thing, you have to be like in a mood to put up with it. Because as
Oh, yeah.
cute as like animals are, like getting them trained is a son of a bitch. And with our first dog, we definitely went through like the 6 week training course at one of the local vets and things like that. And it was just nice because it didn't necessarily teach us all the tricks for every single dog we own, but it told us or taught us how to teach dogs what we want them to do in a really constructive manner. So we kind of said, like, okay, we eventually want 3 dogs. While we're in the mood to train puppies, let's just do it all now. Instead of having, like, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and then, like, puppy training, you know what I mean? And going through that all again. Let's go ahead and knock out all the, things getting bit, pieces of rug getting torn up, poop on the floor. Let's just knock it all out right now. And honestly, with the way that they have adapted to the house, the way they've been trained, I really think it was the best decision. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, just seeing them all together, it's adorable. They're either sleeping or terrorizing, but they're pretty cool. I love them all.
Oh yeah, your little troop building exercise.
Pretty much. So, you know me, I definitely can't do anything subtly. But it's kind of is what it is, and I don't foresee us getting any more dogs anytime soon at all. But it's a really nice thing, and it's nice too.
The latest pictures you've been tossing out of what's his name, Lance, the new kid. Yeah, he's been adorable.
Absolutely. And I feel like our first dog, Lacey, she was a puppy and small for like a whole 2 days. And then she just sprouted up, and she is pretty darn big now. She's towards 20 pounds, and I would say she's at least a good 2.5 feet long. She's just gotten really tall. The second dog that we got, she was actually 6 months old. She was purchased from Petland and given back because the owners couldn't handle her. But I think she's mixed with something. I told you I think she's part Chihuahua, but she has not grown an inch or a pound since we've gotten her. She's pretty much full grown. Her paws are extremely small too, and like I said, she just looks like a Chihuahua in the face, like mix of that and Beagle. But really adorable dog, really well behaved and stuff like that. And it's just funny because the first dog we got and the one that we've had the most time to work with and train is the most mannish, like bitchy little dog out of all of them. I would say I honestly think that Lance is the most well behaved out of all 3, and he's the newest. So
Nice.
kind of is what it is. But the other 2 are too busy trying to play alpha female and all of that. But don't want to ramble on about dogs and stuff like that. I post plenty of pictures by all means. I even have videos of them up on my YouTube and stuff like that. But dogs are awesome. Always been a dog person. And outside of that, just getting back into the groove of keeping up with my site, kumastyle.com, putting out some reviews and stuff like that. Later, we're actually going to have a main topic of, just where we're at in terms of collecting, what's changed, what are our goals with our collections and things like that. So that's going to be pretty cool, but got some exciting stuff too, or I feel that's exciting to talk about during that segment. But outside of that, work's been awesome. Really loving my team and stuff like that. Good. It's just really nice to work with cool people. It's always nice to make good money, but just working with nice people and stuff like that too, it's just an amazing thing, like going to work and actually being okay with it. I'd always rather be home with the pups and stuff like that, but just being like, yeah, this is going to be a good day. It's good to have that feeling. So work's been awesome. Back into working out, I'm at like twice a day now, so just working out like crazy. But yeah, I've actually got something called Warrior Dash coming up on June 16th. It's in Chinahan or some Illinois, and it's basically like a 3-mile obstacle course. So you've got tires, you've got, like, not barbed wire, but like the rope you have to military crawl under and stuff like that. It's just going to be a big, muddy, good time. So they're doing it for 2 days, the 15th and the 16th, and it's going to be like 30-minute runs, like all day, So you just have your allotted time, and then, I'm sure your place is tallied, you know what I mean, at the end of everything or whatever. But it's just going to be a fun time. It's one of those bucket list things that I want to knock out. I look forward to it. So really just trying to get into better shape for that, because I'm never really a person that's, out of shape, like that kind of thing. Trying to keep up with it. So, yeah. But alright, man. That's it for me. Did anybody else have anything they forgot about? Anything like that?
Nope, still nothing.
All right. That's the way I like it. So, okay. What we're going to do here, we're actually dividing this into different areas of news. We all collect different things. I'm going to go ahead. I'm a big mecha person, like Japanese robots, American robots, Yeah. I love the Robots. So, mostly a Goken or diecast collector as well. Ian is going to take care of the Transformers news, and Gene is our 1/6 guy, so he's going to let you guys know the newest, latest, greatest in the 1/6 world. So, okay. Gene, we'll go ahead and start with you, man. What's new?
Well, there's been a bit announced the past few months, especially from Sideshow and Hot Toys. Iron Man 3 obviously is the biggest portion of it. They've unveiled, as we've talked about previously, their Power Pose series, which is just a more posable 1/6 figure, mainly in the armors, as well as some other figures. Um, all told, I think the number that's been confirmed is 14 armors of the 42 are confirmed for sure from Iron Man 3 that are going to be released, as well as a Mandarin figure. Then the new Mark II version of War Machine was recently announced these past few days as well. That's probably been the biggest news. Sideshow is also going into a 1/6 figure with the comic Joker that they announced last month that will be their initial entry into that line for the Batman universe. Let's see. There's been a few Star Wars announcements as well. Darth Malgus was announced, as well as a Clone War commander figure. Those have been some of the other stuff announced from Hot Toys. And I apologize. I'm just trying to get caught up in all this. I only have been recently trying to get caught up on every.
Well, what I was going to ask actually is the comic Joker, is that Hot Toys
Or is that Sideshow?
I believe it's actually Sideshow.
All right, cool. Because I thought it was Sideshow, but then I was trying to figure out, because I would love it to be Hot Toys, but say la vie.
Yeah, and it's an interesting look. I haven't decided if I'm going to bite the bullet on it or not. I'll just kind of have to wait and see how it goes there. But the other announcements that have been kind of big is, and I think Ian, you actually had saw this and you were all for it. 3A, it got a Marvel license as well for their styling, and their first figure's going to be Iron Man.
Yes, dude, that thing looks fucking phenomenal. I know I saw a huge backlash when it was first announced. I totally get it. It in no way, shape, or form fits like a standard collection. But man, that thing looks like it's straight out of the 1950s, and I really hope they do like a kind of a Mark One, almost like tin can kind of paint job on that thing, because I don't know. That's the kind of thing that just tickles my fancy. Like I'm not a completionist by any means, so having just cool one-off figures is kind of my collecting habits in terms of the 1/6 stuff, and that thing, I don't know. There's just something about that tickles me in exactly the right way, because it looks like it comes out of it almost looks like something from Metropolis.
Yeah, it's an interesting take. It actually reminds
Are
me.
you talking about their Iron Man?
Yeah, the 3A Iron Man. Have you seen it at all, or?
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, see, and totally, I completely get that, and I saw a lot of that. To me, that thing looks awesome.
What it reminds me of is that old movie, The Iron Giant.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, very good call.
Which is that's I think that's Brad Bird, isn't it? The guy who did like the Incredibles and stuff for Pixar afterwards.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, anyway. See, TJ, that you hate it. I saw a lot of people posting that, but to me that thing looks phenomenal. So.
And you know what? I think if I was more open to complete reimaginings like that, then I'd be okay with it. But I'm so just enthused with the regular, Iron Man armors and things like that I think it's hard for me, and it's unfair, but I'm just being kind of stingy with not wanting anything to not look
Oh no,
canon.
dude, it's
So-
it's fine. Like I said, it doesn't fit in with any other fucking thing out there, which is going to turn a lot of people off. Plus, it is
Absolutely.
like you said, it's almost a caricature of the Iron Man armor,
Yeah, pretty much.
which I'm kind of down for. So,
Fair enough.
but I'm not going to blame anyone for not liking it. It to me, I love it. So, assuming it's not $400. I mean, that might change my opinion of it.
For sure. I think that high of cost would turn everybody off to, or most people to, something that's not just plain it. So most definitely. Now, is this going to be? I know most 3A toys are, but is it 12-inch scale? Is it going to be like 16 inches? I mean, I know it varies because Ironmonger isn't that like 14, 15 inches?
I'm not 100% sure on the dimensions since they just released a teaser image. I don't.
Yeah.
Since it just came out 2 days ago, they haven't really given a lot of information on it.
Yeah, they said it's 1/6 scale, but
Right,
who the
but
Who knows?
Exactly. But that's just scale, not an exact.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like you were getting at, yeah, exactly. So we'll see. I look forward to painted pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting take. But I can kind of see it kind of reminds me of the whole Night Morphers, the Night Morpher line. You know, there's some people that don't like that steampunk, and that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Oh, fair enough. I didn't even think of it like that, but yeah, a little bit of steampunk influence, a little bit of old sci-fi, and like you said, Iron Giant kind of cartoon. Like I don't know. Like I said, it's me being weird. I like it, but I can completely see why someone would. I mean, it's got like its shoulders almost look like bells. For God's sake, but but I think it looks cool.
And as far as, I guess, other 1/6 news, the only other things that had caught my eye were the camo tumbler. Got an early release from the anticipated release in August. People are actually starting to get those this month, which is interesting because Catwoman was delayed at least until next month. Hopefully, not any longer. She was supposed to be out in February or March, or excuse me, March initially. So she's been delayed a couple of times. And Medicom, they've produced a line from the Batman Hush storyline. They've already released the 1/6 scale Joker and Batman from that line. Then they announced Catwoman and Harley Quinn for that Real Action Heroes line. So that's there's a lot of good Batman stuff spread throughout, along with Iron Man right now. And one of the other items that came out this month that I'm looking forward to, I don't know how much that other people will or how much they're aware of it, but a 1/6 company by the name of CM Toys has been releasing from the Spartacus Blood and Sand Show Off Stars, an unofficial line of figures, and they've released Spartacus and Crixus along with a couple of armor sets, and they announced Animea's Stuctori as well, who's supposed to be coming out sometime next month as well. So that's been the big news that I've seen this past few weeks on the 1/6 scale stuff, and probably the Spartacus stuff is what I'm personally looking forward to the most out of it all right now.
Yeah, you said you were picking that up. I think last time we talked.
Yeah, it was supposed to be here today, but that didn't happen. So, the delivery dates get missed, but hopefully be here tomorrow and I can have a little bit of an opinion on it next week.
Yeah. And did you say you were getting the Hush Batman and Joker as well?
I did, since BBTS put them on clearance for about $80 off each. I went ahead and grabbed those earlier this week too. So, and I haven't really seen any reviews on those, so I'm hoping to get those up on one of our sites here as soon as I get a little more sleep and my son cooperates in that endeavor.
Well, yeah.
Fair enough.
He's the boss at this point, right?
Oh yeah.
I will toss in one thing on the 1/6 scale. The Damn Toys Spade 2 is supposed to be coming out very, very shortly, and I'm looking forward to that. And they actually just teased a third one that we don't know who it is yet, but there was a little teaser for their Spade number 3, which I'm looking forward to a lot, because I'm not sure. I know I showed Eugene, but TJ, these are kind of neat little kind of 1/6 guys that kind of look like Jason Statham and Vinnie Jones.
Oh, I've seen like 3A that looks like one that looks like Jason Statham, but this is another.
Yeah, here, hold on one second. I'm gonna link you in the chat here. Yeah, this is the one they've already released, which is kind of Jason Statham looking one. Hold on, there we go. If you get that link.
Yeah, this is a big link.
Yeah, there's a lot of letters there.
Oh, I thought this was 3A.
No, that's Damn Toys.
Oh, okay.
So there's that.
And that's the one I saw, yeah. That's
okay. And then this is the Vinnie Jones one.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm that one I've got on pre-order. That one should be out next week or the week after.
They look great.
Yeah, they're really cool. And because I know me and you have talked before about not liking actual movie star faces on the toys, but these ones are,
that'd be like perfect for me. That's the kind of stuff I would buy.
Yeah, like this is just enough of a not like a caricature to overuse that word. So that's like 2 or 3 times now in the podcast I've used that already. But this is it's just enough of a cartoon version that I actually I'm okay with it.
For sure. Like, if I could get a Jason Statham and a Sylvester Stallone, dress them up like Expendables, that would be perfect in this style.
Yeah, and that's and they've got a third one teased, but they tend to focus on the British kind of action.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure who the third one is yet, but I'm definitely looking forward to the Vinnie Jones one, just because I love Vinnie Jones, even though he plays basically the same character in every movie. I'm fine with that, and I think he looks pretty badass with his bloody baseball bat and and hoodie. So
indeed,
yeah. So that's the only news I was going to toss in on the 1/6 stuff, because these are ones that I'm looking forward to adding to my collection.
All right. Well, yeah, I can see why. Those are ones that I've been interested in every time. Well, the Jason Statham. That's the only one I'd seen, but every time I see it, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
The thing is just really neat, and it's weird that it's so like a cartoon being brought to life.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, it does go along with that kind of 3A style, but it's just different enough that I think they've really. And it's weird because these guys have done, other than these, I think they only have done like army, like your standard army men kind of deal, which
very cool.
I'm not really interested in, but
that works. So yeah, Gene, did you have any other 1/6 news or?
No, that pretty well covers everything that I wanted to touch on for this week.
Okay, very cool. So for me, I guess I'll go ahead and go with mine. Mine's short. I'm doing the mecha section of this podcast. Now, as people who collect mecha or Japanese robots, American robots, we don't get much at once. So, announcement-wise, nothing really new has come up. But, was it last night? Yeah, last night at about 2 a.m., the 8th, we had a couple of pre-orders go up. The first one is going to be D-Arts, the Mega Man X, their Ultimate Armor Mega Man X. It's not even one that I'm super familiar with because I actually stopped playing the X series after like 4 or 5 when they started coming on to the PlayStation 1. And I'll go ahead and link you guys as well so you can see what's up. But it is a very, very, very gorgeous outfit. With the gears underneath and things like that. It just plain looks cool.
Yeah,
I love the rocket pack as well as the effects, and
I like the blue, purple, and gold altogether.
Absolutely, it just looks great. And I'll go in terms of importance. Well, I guess that would have been second. This one should have been first, but Robot Spirits, another Bandai Tamashii line. They're actually their side KMF line from Code Geass, the anime series. They're releasing the Alexander, the Aikido custom. The pre-order went up last night, and it is due in August. So let me go ahead and link you guys as well. Now, this isn't one amongst robot fans that I've heard a ton about. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just being turned off by the new series itself or the OVA, or just the insect-like design of this custom, but I absolutely adore it. I love the lanky design and things like that, and even the promo pictures just look great. It's one that I like the series, but I want to get this toy just to photograph it even. It looks gorgeous. And Robot Spirits in general does a really good job with their Code Geass figures in terms of just keeping them posable and things like that, because with the wheels that are attached to their feet and things, they can get kind of clunky, but they do well with it. But a big one that went up for pre-order on the 8th at 2 a.m. as well. A lot of the reason that, in my opinion, outside of Sailor Moon, that Ami Ami just crashed to hell once these pre-orders went up, is their Super Robot Chigoken, another Bandai Tamashii line. Their Shin Getter. And, I mean, this figure is great. Looking at pictures of it in comparison to the Super Robot Chigoken Mazinger, and let me go ahead and link you guys as well, this figure looks to be at least a solid 6 inches tall. Now, I collect another line for my Getter Robo figures, and it's from Future, and unfortunately, they are a 10-inch scale line, so their Getter is between 10 and 11 inches tall. So this isn't exactly going to fit in with my collection, but I do have plenty of Super Robot Chigoken toys that I can go ahead and fit this into. And at $1,000, you know, the Future version is a little ways off. But this one at 70, well, actually this one went up for pre-order at 50. I mean, it's much more affordable, looks very nice, and one thing that people are kind of wondering about is there's this picture. If you guys look at my Ami Ami link that I sent you,
Yeah, the second one.
yeah, the second one. It looks like there's a possibility of it lighting up, but looking at the pictures, like the promo pictures and things like that, from the back, from the sides, there's no visible light switch. So there's a part of me wondering if this picture isn't either photoshopped or just plain showing off the light piping in this figure as well. Since there's not been any kind of confirmed, you know, yes or no, this figure has an electronic gimmick and things like that, and especially looking at how it goes through the forearms and the hands and stuff like that, that's not just one LED, that'd be multiple LEDs throughout the figure. So I'm skeptical at best on whether or not that would happen. I'm about 99.9% sure that it's not going to be something. I'd love to be wrong, but I don't see electronics being there. But still, you know, most of these figures come out between $20 and $40, more in the $30-$35 range. This one is a solid $50, but it does come with things like the wings. It comes with his big scythe as well. So plenty of cool accessories that justify this as well. You know, it being a die-cast figure, or at least partially die-cast. Super Robot Chigoken really never have that month, but it looks great. And I'm not the biggest fan of the Super Robot Chigoken line, but I gotta admit, this one looks really impressive. I love the proportions that they gave him. It's very anime accurate, so I dig it. I dig it. Really looking forward to it. But yeah, that sums up my mecha news for the time being. Ian, it's all you, man. Transformers.
Oh, all right. Well, I just wanted to say it was fun waking up, I think, the morning after that Ami Ami drop happened, because I woke up super early. I was at a 7 a.m. shift. So I woke up and Twitter had just exploded with just a huge amount of people that I follow had been camping out for all this stuff. And it seemed like, correct me if I'm wrong here, it seemed like Sailor Moon was the one that sold out
in 0 seconds.
Yeah, like
yeah.
out of all this stuff came out, and no one could fucking get their Sailor Moon that they wanted, which to me was just kind of funny. But it was just interesting waking up the morning after the Ami Ami drop, and just the Twitter had exploded completely for me. because everyone was trying to get these guys.
Oh, absolutely. And that thing it crashed to hell.
Yeah, no, it was, I was reading along with it, and then everyone was talking about this guy's, and this is how little I know about mecha. I thought it was Shin Getter, and I thought it had something to do with the fact that his shins lit up. So anyway, that is my embarrassing amount of mecha knowledge. Right there.
Hey, and to be honest with you, I bet reading it on Twitter is funny because all you see is T minus 10, T minus 5, T minus 4. Fuck. Site's dead. Like, by like 50 million people.
Yeah.
Because,
then,
like, seriously.
And then people switching over to Hobby Link Japan. And
you can literally see people shifting from, like, site to site in big droves. Like, it's all one big group, like, walking around on freaking Black Friday or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's like birds. As soon as one turns, the entire flock goes in the other direction, you know what I mean? But anyway, I thought I would toss it out there. It was funny waking up the next morning super early and seeing everyone's reactions to the drop.
I bet.
Especially because I had like zero stake in it, other than possibly wanting a Sailor Moon, which I had no chance of getting. So.
But I will say this, on the plus side, Amazon went ahead and listed it for pre-order.
Yeah, and
Bluefin Tamashi is actually bringing that to the States. So for anybody, Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, look at your American retailers too. They did a very good job of making sure that this is in stock for us U.S. folk.
Yeah, I actually went ahead and picked it up on Big Bad so that I could get it for my wife because she's into she reads the comic books or whatever. And
cool.
Yeah, so I managed to get that on Big Bad, so I was happy about that.
Nice.
But yeah, I guess Transformers stuff. There's two big official things kind of going on. The first of which is all the new images of Generations Metroplex, which I forget every time how fucking big this thing is gonna be. Actually, did either of you guys get the reissue Fort Max?
No.
I ordered it, but I haven't shipped it yet.
Gotcha. So, because from what I understand, the Metroplex is same size, basically 2 feet tall, right? And
that should be about right.
Yeah, it's just every time I see this thing, I forget how goddamn big it is. And we actually just got some even more official images because I was looking at all the Twitter stuff from one of the designers there, but there's a picture of like a kid, and Metroplex is coming up just like to his waist, which is insane to me. So I mean that's one of the big things in Transformers New. I honestly have no place for this, like literally just no space for a toy this big. But I don't know. I think it looks awesome, and the more we see of it, the more kind of details and articulation. And I think the only thing it's really missing is ankle tilts, which I mean, for some people I understand is the end of the world, but for a figure this big that is a triple changer, it's got an amazing amount of articulation. So that's one of the big things, and then the other one is the Voyager triple changers are just coming out, and I understand that you got one, TJ. Or actually, you got both, didn't you?
Of the triple changers, yeah. Absolutely. Yep.
And I've heard great things about Springer.
He is out of control. He is out of control cool. And it just bleeds personality, that sculpt. They did a magnificent job of bringing the comic to life.
Yeah.
With this one.
So, and just a quick question. From what I understand, he doesn't have a lot of paint apps, so they managed to get all those changes of modes and everything literally just with moving like hunks of plastic.
Absolutely. But one thing that I think the IDW artists are good about, because I always see these sketches of, here's the robot, here's like this mode, here's this mode. I think they do a lot of their designs with toys in mind.
Yeah, or even maybe just realistic physics. As much as air quotes for realistic physics in Transformers are. But Yeah, no, I've heard some super impressive things about it, and whenever it shows up in the Great White North up here, I'm definitely gonna pick it up. But Blitzwing apparently not as cool, or
You know, I have been so busy that I took Blitzwing out of the box, and he's been standing on my speaker by my computer. And I really have not even touched him. His weapons are on a whole nother shelf. I mean, he looks great,
yeah,
and I can't wait to actually get around to messing with him. But you know, it's just one of those things to where until I have time to play with him, and transform him and stuff like that, I don't even want to start.
yeah, no, absolutely fair. I'm what I've heard is he's not like he's a great toy, but being released at the same time as something as ambitious and cool as Springer was, that maybe he doesn't stack up necessarily. Like if he had been released last year, people would have lost their shit. But being released at the same time as Springer, maybe not so much.
Absolutely. I dig it. Yeah, that's a very good way of putting it. And there are some fixes online, apparently, that really make this character better. Because one thing I noticed off the bat is that his shoulders, they don't really snap into place or anything like that, like they should. But apparently there was a guy who made a video on the correct way to sand certain parts down and things like that, and all it takes is a screwdriver and something to file plastic with, like sandpaper or a nail file, things like that, and you're good to go. So I'm definitely going to check that out. I have it in my favorites on YouTube, so as soon as I get to messing around with this figure, it's going to be one of the first things I do.
Cool. Well, I mean, I like the pics you took of the of Springer. They were looking awesome.
Oh, thank you, man.
Oh, no problem. He's one of those ones I plan on picking up and taking up a couple pictures with like Code and any of the other ones that kind of hit that IDW kind of style. Because he just fits in. Like, I really like the Nick Roche kind of art style that they kind of aped there.
Yeah.
So. And Gene, like you're pretty much done with classics, right?
Yeah. Although I will say that out of the three figures you mentioned, I am grabbing them just because it looks like from the scale that they would fit in my masterpiece collection, or at least they wouldn't look terribly out of place until maybe an official one comes out down the road.
That's not bad, especially for Springer. You're right. He's pretty tall. He's like 6-7 inches tall.
Yeah, exactly. And I figure, I mean, it'll look decent next to Prime and my iGear Van brothers because those all kind of looked about the same size. So that's how I'm kind of justifying it to myself right now.
That's fair. And plus, you end up getting to mess around with a pretty cool figure.
Exactly.
Now, are you getting the Metroplex?
Yes.
Nice.
And
You got to do me a favor and take a picture of him and Fort Max together.
well, I'm a big sucker for the city bots. I really am. And Metroplex was one of my favorite toys I had as a kid. I played the hell out of him and Scorponok. I don't know how many hours of my childhood I had those two in tow. So I really hope they get a Scorponok in similar form or a Triptychon. But yeah, anything that's for me, it's also I like this type of ambitious project, and I'm going to support it. I mean, even if it's not something that necessarily fits with my collection, I appreciate it, and I want them to do more of it, so I'm going to support that.
I got it. So, did you actually see the picture of the Metroplex beside the G1 Metroplex?
Oh, yeah, it's crazy to sit there and look at it, and it doesn't come up to his knees.
Yeah, TJ, did you see that? Oh,
Absolutely. I saw the one with kids and stuff like that, too.
yeah, the one with the G1 Metroplex, and he's like reaching down to pat the G1 on the head. Like,
yeah,
the
it's crazy.
Scale,
like bending over to pat him in the head.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. Anyway, I wish I had like physical space for this, just because, Gene, like you said, I would love to support this, but maybe I'll buy it just and donate it to TFCon charity auction or something, because I want to support, like you said, stuff like this. I just literally have nowhere to fucking put the thing.
It's for me, I kind of feel the same, but I feel like I'll buy it and then I'll figure something out as soon as possible. You know what I mean? It's just kind of one of those. I think this is one of those once in our lifetime type figures.
Yeah, and
so
like
I'm not going to miss out on the opportunity, even if I sell it the next day, to play with it.
Yeah, and that completely makes sense. It's I wish I had more space.
Absolutely.
But I guess moving on from the official stuff, because I mean, and there's other stuff out there, but I'm not going to go into every little piece. Just kind of hit the highlights here. The thing that I am looking forward to most, and something that has, I mean, progressively every new picture we get has been awesome with this. Is the new pictures of Feral Rex that have gone up on the board, and we're finally starting to see kind of what the combined bone will look like with the pictures of Leo Dux with his 2 legs attached, and this thing looks huge. Like pictures of it with the like with classics figures. I don't know. It's pretty big, and they've got it posed beside Giant too, and this like it's towering. I think this is same size as Hercules. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this immensely. So all I can say is congrats and to Mastermind, because I mean I've loved pretty much everything they've put out so far. Awakening, all that stuff, and this thing looks like it's as their first kind of venture into classics, or that kind of style at least. It looks like it's been just a runaway hit. It's really striking a chord with a lot of people on the boards. The interaction that they've been having with people on the boards, I think, has got a lot of people's buy-in on these guys as well. And I just think it looks phenomenal. So I'm definitely all in for the entire set. TJ, I assume that you're picking these guys up.
Yeah.
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 I didn't think it was a question. It was just but you've seen the new pictures here, right, with him?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I got to see him a little while ago. But
Yeah.
So it looks very good.
Man, I think those things are looking phenomenal. And Gene, you're not. I think you were out on these, weren't you?
That's correct.
Oh man, that it's like I understand, because it I don't think it will fit in with Masterpiece. Although, did you see the pictures of it with scaled with Masterpiece Sideswipe?
No, I haven't.
Because like the leg modes are actually taller, it looks like, than Masterpiece Sideswipe. So it could technically fit in with a Masterpiece line.
Honestly, man, Predaking, in terms of like scale and stuff like that,
Yeah.
he, combiner-wise, he is fictionally like other freaking combiners come up to his chest. So Sideswipe should literally probably not be too much taller than his foot.
Fair enough. I'm just
Yeah, Predaking's huge.
I'm just going by like thinking Voyager Voy. You know what I mean, right? Like,
I think like realistic scale, like
Yeah.
from what you're saying, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But like fictionally, I don't know if it like does the size shifting or whatever it's called, mass shifting.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It just
but
beats
yeah,
the-
like
beats
by
the
the
hell
time
out.
it is in combined or gestalt mode, it is just freaking massive. Like this is one that would be 2 feet tall, like Metroplex, and be classic scaled.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's huge, and I would love to see something ambitious like that.
Yeah.
I really would. That's why he's pretty king. Like he's the king of gestalts. Like it's God. Have you seen a lot of pictures of him, like fiction wise, or anything like that?
Well, most of the times I've seen him, he's been kind of like with Devastator size wise. At least going by IDW or sorry, not IDW, but Dreamwave and stuff like that. I'm more comics based than anything else. So
Take a look at this picture that I'm sending you.
yeah, absolutely.
There we go.
Okay, yeah. I mean he looks pretty big there.
He's a monster. Yeah, Predaking is just out of control.
Fair enough. I just
Yeah.
for me, I was thinking like, hey, it's like the actual limbs are all taller than Masterpiece side swipes, so I figured
Hmm.
they kind of fit in Masterpiece scale that way. Also, I was trying to sell Gene on it. You
No.
really,
You kind of
Sorry,
you
sorry.
kind of fucked me up here, TJ.
Yeah, I got all technical.
Gene, did you fall for it yet or no?
No, as much as I want to, I just, I mean, I just, like I was telling you when we were talking a few
Yeah.
days ago, unless it's, either an official release or legitimately scaled to what we've got MP wise, I'm probably just not gonna do it. Especially with all the 1/6 stuff that, everything I get is in scale.
Yep.
I never thought I'd become, a scale Nazi, but apparently I am. So,
Dude, yeah. Even for the stuff that I'm collecting, which we'll talk about later, it's weird how like all of a sudden you start getting things that are an exact scale to each other and stuff like that, and then you kind of look at some other lines you have that aren't, and it's just like, what is this? What? So
Fair
yeah.
enough.
But you know what? I do give Transformers more leeway though, because I collect a lot of mecha that they may combine and stuff like that, but they don't have like that mass shifting aspect that Transformers do.
Yeah.
Like where a sound wave becomes a real size freaking boombox, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where like if you look at Predaking's like separate bots ever, they're not that much more huge than the average, deluxe Voyager Transformer.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
They
they're
can't
they're shorter than Megatron.
exactly, but then he combines and he's like freaking 200 feet tall. Like it's just nuts.
No,
So I
absolutely.
mean, Transformers definitely they take their liberties and stuff like that, and that has to be respected. But like Gene was saying, when you get into stuff that's just consistently made in scale, then it's like I don't know. I guess my biggest gripe with Transformers, if anything, it always feels like the vehicle modes are made to be in scale with each other, and the robot modes suffer from it, or like combine or guest star modes. And maybe I'm in the minority, but I don't really keep my Transformers in those alternate modes a lot. So I'd much rather have an N scale like robot or like guest star mode, and then have like the vehicles be kind of wonky.
sure. And I mean, the good news is that Masterpiece does that, because if they didn't, the difference in size between a fucking F-15 and a boombox would
Exactly.
yeah that would make for a pretty shitty Masterpiece display. And no, I hear you. Again, I was just trying to trick Gene into getting the Feral Rex there. But no, I just think it's awesome, and I've been a fan of pretty much everything they've done. So,
I just
Just
want to
the,
point out the irony of trying to trick the guy with the PhD in psychology.
whatevs.
Hmm.
Just because you call yourself a doctor on Twitter.
It's Twitter doctor.
But yeah, no, that's again, I just think the pictures have looked fantastic. I love the fact that they're interacting with people on TFW and everything. So that's been really cool. And on the flip side, stuff that I still think looks cool, but people have historically not had much of a interaction with, is the new pictures of the new fans project stuff, including the final pictures of Motormaster. And again, I hopped on Twitter one day, and there was a lot of backlash on these pictures when they first came out. I can understand it. I still think that the individual bots look pretty cool, and I love the way that the actual Metasaur looks when it's combined. But it's been. I think this is one of the most divisive of the fans project releases. There's been a lot of opinions on either side of the aisle there, in terms of whether people kind of are embracing this or less so. But yeah, those came out, so I thought that was at least worth mentioning. I'm still down for picking those all up. And then we got the Toy World stuff, which is the Throttlebots, the scaled with Hegemon, Optimus, and what was the third one there?
It's not Mind Wipe. It's another one.
Oh, Brainstorm. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes. Thanks, guys. I completely blanked on it there, but TJ, I know you. First of all, did either of you guys get any of the Throttlebots? Because I didn't.
I have them both. They're amazing.
You like them?
I love
you
them.
got
I
them. So
really
you're
like
probably
them a
looking
lot.
forward to this guy because he looks of the three so far.
He looks better than all of them.
Yes, he looks the coolest.
Yeah.
I might pick him up just because he looks like a really cool little car former. But I didn't end up getting Grind Rod or Aurora. So
I think more than anything, this one looks like it could be its own standalone, like
yeah, and that's
not
kind
part of a team.
That's kind of where I'm going. It actually looks like an impressive toy. The other ones looked cool enough. I just they fell on the just on the bland side, I guess, for me. In terms of, I don't know, they were cool and they looked functional. I just didn't. I like the little feet on Grind Rod. I liked how his little grills and everything became his legs and everything like that. But there just wasn't enough there for me to drop the $70 on him. Whereas this one looks like it really, really could be a cool figure to mess around with. And I know that you loved Hegemon, TJ.
Oh yeah, dude.
So I assume that you're gonna pick up the scaled Prime to go along with it, or?
Absolutely. The Prime, it's weird. I really love that they went for the IDW design. Not the biggest fan of the head sculpt. Wish the antenna, first off, were a bit different, and the face was a little bit more shaped instead of the kind of boxy feel that it has, as well as his body. You know, IDW Prime is a very, I guess, broad shoulder, slim waist, like that kind of thing. And I understand you have to do within the confines of what a toy can do.
Sure.
But it looks a bit wide.
Yeah, well, I mean, the IDW Prime very much looks like some of your super robots in terms of proportions.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, I mean, it's one of those things where, yeah, I'm buying it to support the fact that they went for such a great design, but I'm hoping that some refinements come down the line with this toy in terms of its overall silhouette.
No, I hear you. I hope they obviously come out with a black version.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because I think it looked awesome. I did a little digibash of it with the black and red kind of colors, and as I always do, I think it looks phenomenal in those colors. So if they decide that they want to put it out in that would be my first Toy World toy. So, but I did, like you said, I do think they did a really cool job translating that toy. But yes, there is a little bit of room for improvements there. First of all, like the hands look just a little too big. I think they just like the hands kind of throw it off a little bit, for me at least. And then Hegemon, is his elbow joint placed as high up in the arm as it is on Optimus there?
His elbow joint's pretty high up.
Okay. I was just wondering if that was kind of a trademark of what they do.
Yeah, but I guess with Hegemon, is his shoulders start a bit lower, so it doesn't look like they're as high up. Like his actual shoulders are a bit lower. So even though the elbow's high up on the arm, it gives like the look of it. You know what I mean? It's right where it's supposed to be.
No, I hear you. Okay. And Gene, did you have anything on these guys? I just assume they're a pass.
The Throttlebot I will get. Optimus,
Nice.
I'm not sure. I mean, Optimus is one of those like Grimlock. I tend to bite on him regardless of form, so I'll just kind of have to wait and see. For some reason, I was thinking that we were getting a regular like 30th anniversary or whatever, like IDW styled Prime. I thought that was announced somewhere, but
It was, but it was a tiny guy.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like a Cyberverse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's actually, I think that's out. I think that I've seen a couple of reviews go up on that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I actually grabbed him. He's shown up on Amazon, so I grabbed him a while ago. For some reason, I thought we were getting a larger one, but
If we have,
We're getting a deluxe of Orion packs.
yes.
Okay. That must be what it is then.
And that one has a different truck design than the IDW.
Yeah, and that's the one that's coming out with Trail Cutter and the Stealth Bomber or Megatron, I think.
And I hate that those are deluxes. Like, I really...
Oh, dude, the Stealth Bomber Megatron should have been a Voyager, but...
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Um,
But you're getting the throttle bot, too? Gene?
Yeah. Yeah, they well, I mean, they scale perfectly with
Oh, shit, I didn't even think
Masterpiece.
of that.
yeah, it's very true, because honestly, like, they're out of scale for classics. They're deluxe size.
Yep,
Yeah.
I completely whiffed on that.
Yep. It's a good call. And you know what's funny? You're talking about the feet on Grind Rod. It's actually the feet on what's his name? Trace, is it? The latest
The new
throttle
one,
bot?
the red
Yeah.
one? Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know his name.
Oh, okay. I
Red
thought it
car,
was like-
throttlebot guy.
Okay, I thought it was like Trace or something like that. Might be
Probably.
wrong.
Yeah.
But his feet are actually the coolest part about the robot to me.
Oh yeah, no, they're
They look just designed amazingly. And you know what else is kind of cool about them? I don't know. Tell me if you see this, but there's something about the robot mode that kind of reminds me of Alternator's Optimus Prime.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The way the hood sits in front.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks like a
So I
little
was
bit,
like, that is awesome.
especially
So-
in the red color pictures
Mm-hmm.
of him. You can definitely see it there.
Absolutely. So yeah, man, I'm very excited for this one. Like I said, this is the one that looks like it could be its own separate release. It's not that the others were engineered poorly at all, or aesthetically are poor, but this one looks like, just because it's so different, that it was given more care.
Now, have we? I might have missed it, but have we seen anything else about what the combined mode for these guys is going to be, or anything about that?
Not at all.
Okay, I just wanted to know if I had missed something there, because I haven't really been paying too much attention to them. So, but
Part of me wonders if they're still trying to figure it out too.
some dude in Toy World's design team is just fucking sweating in front of a
Yeah,
fucking-
like pretty much. Like he's just figuring out. He's waiting until the last figure comes out, and
Yeah.
then he's just gonna figure out what all like combiner parts he can like release to make the thing look like sort of shit instead of complete shit.
the last
So
the last one just comes with a roll of duct tape and
pretty
a
much.
extra head, and it's like, figure it out, guys.
That's really where I'm at with it, because from what I'm seeing, like, yeah, I understand the feet modes or whatever, but it's so generic
Yeah,
that I'm
man,
like,
I would
is
love
this
to.
really?
I would love to see them just blow everyone away with it. Like,
That'd
all of
be
a sudden
so
it's
awesome.
gonna be awesome.
That would be so awesome.
My guess is still it's going to be that goddamn GoBot Combiner Puzzler or whatever the hell his name was.
He actually, where it's kind of that weird split crotch kind of.
Yeah, where it looks like it's just two cars resting on top of one another with no design integration.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh man, GoBots.
kind of like Motormaster.
Hey now.
So,
no,
just
I know, dude. Hey,
I'm just saying.
once again, I don't fault anyone for not liking it. I'm still a fan. So.
So, yeah. Oh, God. Like, I really don't like that Motormaster design. And I am a fans project completionist to, like, the fullest.
I
Like,
know you are.
People online, I don't meet other people that complete like that. But it's not like, but it's whatever. People buy whatever they want to buy. But I mean, I'm just saying it because I'm somebody who's been so like supportive of Fans Project. But there are companies like Mastermind Creations, like Toy World even, that are coming out with toys that are against the grain in terms of like character releases. And two, they're making sculpts that actually have personality to them. To where when you look at like a Fans Project design, for me, Car Crash and T-Bone, it almost felt like they were like car versions of Munitioner and Explorer. They have this really cool like standard, but they've just done it so many times with so many different Transformers characters that it's become generic.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, on one side, it does keep the kind of line cohesive, but on the other hand, yeah, it does get stale after a little bit.
Exactly. Like honestly, Motormaster to me looks like Steel Core with a funny helmet.
Is it wrong?
Like
that
it's
that
just
was,
really.
Is it wrong that if you had told me that without ever seeing the picture, I would have been totally down for it?
No, but it looks like steel. It's like Steelcore dressed as Motormaster.
Yep.
For Halloween.
Still down for
It's
it.
freaking crazy. So I mean, yeah, man. I'm just really hoping the paint job looks good and all that stuff. But the initial mold, I'm just not sold on it.
Yeah, I got
Like I usually am with Fans Project stuff. Like it works for a lot of things, but this one, I know that you had talked about the possibility of it being like Scramble Core and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or Scramble City,
Yep.
to where every bot can act as any lemon, stuff like that. But for me, I don't like that because something about the arms on the combined form of Intimidator or Menacer just looks downright ridiculous. And it's weird because it's the same way that the Bruticus arms go, like using the what is it, the
Uses
hips
the
as elbows and stuff like that on the bots, like that kind of thing.
Well, it uses the waist and the thighs as the,
There we go.
as the shoulder or the elbows.
And like the knees backwards are the elbows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But the thing is, I think a big part of it, because I was looking at it and I'm like, why does it work so well for Bruticus or Colossus and just sucks on Intimidator to me? But I think part of it is the forearm covers on Colossus that they have go over the legs. It makes it look a lot more like an actual like arm.
Solidifies it a little, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Where those, they didn't even have anything covering up. Like you still see the gap in between the legs and stuff like that on the forearm, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yep.
So for me, that's just a bit clunky. I'm hoping that more comes to, you know what I mean? Maybe some
hear
cover-up
you.
pieces and stuff, but
the way I get around it, at least for me personally, is I would expect Bruticus to be a little beefier than Menasor, just because 5 military vehicles versus 5 kind of cars. So I expect him to just be a little lankier, but I can absolutely.
But Ian, what about the cohesive aesthetic you were just talking?
Yeah, I know, absolutely. Hey, I'm fine with if they add it. I'm saying how.
So, I'm just saying.
I'm saying I can get to it in my head.
Oh, for sure. And you know what? Even I'm playing it off to where I actually like the individual bots enough to not display it in.
Yeah, the one that is getting the most flack. I think that's one of my favorites, which is Downforce, the yellow.
Dragstrip.
Yeah, I really.
And he's my favorite out of all of them.
Yeah, I really like the way he looks too, which is.
I like
weird,
him in Car Crash the best.
Yeah, because he's catching, I think, the most flack online.
Which is weird to me.
Is
it because of like the whole like extra wheels thing and stuff like that not being there, or
no? It's the little purple feet that are really killing people, and it just doesn't bother me at all.
That's so weird and fickle to me, but at the same time, it's like to each their own. Whatever.
It's also at this point, it's like Transformers fans. You know, the littlest thing
pretty much
will cause a stink.
Much.
So, but yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of the what Toy World is doing in general. It's just I haven't got around to picking up a single one of their toys, but it's definitely, they've done some cool stuff here. Oh, and the Brainstorm. Sorry, the Brainstorm is the one that for me is the biggest pass, because I love the way that the Fans Project / Jazzy Toys or whatever it is designed one looks.
For sure. Is it like Jazai or?
Yeah, I can't ever say it, so.
Okay.
I fucked it up there.
It's all good.
Whatever it is, the one that goes along with Code, I think looks a lot better than the Toy World one, at least to me.
I agree, and I already bought Code, so I want to keep them cohesive. You know.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. It's just for some people, I guess the fact that it doesn't have a faceplate is really throwing them off and pushing them towards the Toy World one. To me, I just don't have that connection with Brainstorm as a character where I give two shits if he has a faceplate or not. So I plus the engineering on and the little details on the Fans Project one look like they're going to be a lot more, I don't know, well thought out, I guess, than the Toy World one. So, but that's the Toy World news, and the last little bit of third party stuff is the iGear mini bots, which are Bumblebee, Cliff Jumper, Power Glide, and Wheelie. So I'm definitely down for Cliff Jumper, because I mean, why the hell not? I love Cliff Jumper, and he comes with a huge ass gun, which I'm always a big fan of for him having. and he just looks like a little pissed off fat dude, which I'm cool with. The other three I have absolutely no interest in. The Power Glide would be... there's so many other good versions of Power Glide out there. Wheelie, I've got no real interest in getting. And that Bumblebee. Oh my god, that Bumblebee looks like just a little angry fat dude, which I'm okay with on Cliffjumper, but Bumblebee just looks like he's had a little bit too much cake. So, I don't know. They've done some weird things with the Mini Warriors line. And, yeah, I don't know what to say about these guys. I'll get the Cliffjumper. That's about it. So, I don't know. Unless you guys want to comment on Fat Bumblebee or any of the other ones, I think that's it for the Transformer stuff right now.
No, I'm good.
Fair enough. So yeah, at that point, I guess what do you want to do? You want to take a quick break?
My name is Vinnie Jones, and I'm going to teach you a lesson you'll never forget. There are times in life when being tough comes in handy. Say some geezer collapses in front of you. What do? We need a volunteer that ain't breathing. Here's one I made earlier. First thing you do is you check him over. If he ain't responsive or he ain't breathing, or he's making noises like this, then his heart will stop working, he's having a cardiac arrest. Look lively. First call 999. Then you do hands-only CPR, and no kissing. You only kiss your missus on the lips. Watch. Lock your fingers together, knuckles up. Then push down, right on the sovereign.
Alright, and welcome back after that intermission. Hopefully you guys got a chance to take a walk, get some water, listen to some music, whatever you wanted to do. We are back, though, and right now we're going to go ahead and get into our main topic. Not sure how long it'll be, but the main subject of the night is just our collections. Where are they at? Where do we plan on going with them? Because if you guys have been regular listeners, me and Gene in particular, we've been kind of transitioning out of Transformers into some other things, and now we're kind of just giving an update since it's been, a month and maybe even a couple of months since our last podcast. And yeah, like I said, just giving some updates of where things are at, what we're looking forward to in terms of where we want our collections to be and stuff like that, whether it's what we're collecting, how we're setting them up. This is just where we kind of let you guys know what we're into. Gene, I'll go ahead and start with you, man.
Oh, for me, the biggest transition has been my Transformers have tailed off significantly. Pretty much what I get now is Masterpiece figures or Masterpiece scale figures. So there'll be those occasional third-party figures that I'll get, like the Throttlebots or Quake Wave, because they fit in my collection. I'm actually in the process of selling off pretty much all of my classics collection that I have left, and then just show characters from Prime or Beast Hunter since that's wrapping up. Outside of that, I'll get an occasional oddball Transformer figure, like I said, like Encore Fort Max or Metroplex. But the bulk of my collecting is the 1/6 scale figures now, with specifically the Hot Toys Batman figures from the Nolan trilogy, and then some custom figures from there, as well as the Spartacus figures that I'm branching off into. But I'm going to dabble in those Metacom Real Action Hero Hush Batman figures to see how I like them. But that's kind of where I'm at. I was very much pro third party and pro classics, but once I got my first Hot Toys figure, that really kind of shifted my priorities on what I personally feel is a figure that can or needs to be in my collection. I prefer the ultra detailed, like the Masterpiece level figures, that there's consistency in the scale and that they can fit together in a collection. And for myself personally, I just didn't feel that what I had with classics was really where I wanted to go anymore. And it's kind of interesting because with the Prime line, I feel like that is there. Those options are there because that's one of the few lines where we've gotten every single show character in some way, shape, or form. So I mean that's and I do like the show a lot. It's been my favorite since G1, so that kind of helped that there. But it's I'm kind of in flux right now. It's mostly 1/6 figures right now going forward with whatever masterpiece or masterpiece-like figures come out, Transformer-wise.
Understandable, man. And your collection it's really impressive. And one thing that I can't wait until you start getting set up is just the more, I guess, I don't know what to call them, fancy shelving style and stuff like that you were talking about, rather than just like wall shelves and things like that. Because of a lot of the stuff that you collect is detail worthy, rather than just kind of strewn around and about and things like that. So I know you're trying to make some space, get some new shelving units and display cases and stuff like that. So I love seeing your collection, but I can't wait to see what it looks like when you really have, your display the way you want it to, because that's a big part.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, it's going to be waiting until I get everything sold that I want out of here so I have that space right now. But when I do, that'll pay for what I'm hoping I can get done down here. And working with concrete walls is going to be the biggest barrier right now. But I think I've got a couple solutions figured out for it. So
Gonna have to get out the hammer drill.
Oh yeah, I already bought one.
Nice, good job.
What's up? And all right, Gene, if you're if you've got everything all explained pretty well, I'll go ahead and jump to you, Ian. Man, where are things at? Because I know you've been dabbling in some other lines too.
Yeah. For me, it's I I don't have really classics out anymore. Although me and several people's definition of classics is a little bit different. I keep third party. Like, I like all my third party stuff just because I look at that as kind of almost adult oriented toys. They're much more detailed, complicated, complex kind of things. So I don't necessarily put that at the same range as kind of the classic stuff. But I have third party stuff. I have my Masterpiece. I have my Black Primes. And lately I've been picking up just kind of things that I find interesting.
Things like the Mark One Iron Man toy. I just got the Hades God Complex toy from Foxbox Studios, which I think is fucking phenomenal. One of my favorite things that I own. And even down to things like Goliaths, Armorvores. I've been playing around with those things, which are fun as hell. And actually, just got some more stuff from a guy who does little heads for them called the God Beast.
And he does some really, really cool very detailed heads for them that I think just look awesome. And there was a Goliath drop the other night, picked up some more Armorvores, but also some axis joints and some swing joints so that I could play around with building some stuff. And I built a cool little spider guy and added some kind of shoulders to one of my gorilla Armorvores. So I don't know, I've been having fun with those things. But realistically, like, I've just been, like, my focus is less and less on necessarily any one thing and more about just picking up stuff that I really enjoy. Like, I still love Transformers. That is the majority of my collection, whether it's official Masterpiece or third-party stuff. But I just don't pick up classics anymore. Like, I'll buy one every now and again that I think is neat. Like, I just actually finally picked up Thundertron and messed around with that, and he's a really cool character. But after I'm done with it like, messing around with it, I'll probably just toss it in the closet or something because I don't really have a place to display it. It really is just focusing on stuff that I actually think is cool from either an engineering or aesthetic perspective, rather than completing any one sort of thing. So that's kind of where I'm focused on right now. And that's probably what I'm going to continue to do in the future, is just pick up really cool stuff that I see that I enjoy, and wherever it comes from, whether it's from a third party, whether it's from Hasbro or Takuratami, whether it's from Hot Toys or 3A or an independent kind of 1/6 person, or even, like I said, down to something like O'Neill Designs with their Glyos stuff. So that's my focus right now, is just getting cool stuff that I like.
That's awesome. Like, I don't think that's a bad focus to have at all.
Yeah, no, it's kind of what I like.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's cool, man. And that's the way to be, just if it looks good, buy it, make space for it. It doesn't matter if you have nothing that matches it or 50 things that match it, because all collections have to start somewhere. And you never know what you'll end up buying in the future that goes along with it. So, I see a lot of people who tell me, well, I want to buy that bot, but I don't really collect the line. And it's like, you don't have to collect every single one of something to...
Yeah, and that's what I don't want to get tied to. Is like, if I want to pick something up, I'll just get it. I don't want to have to worry about then tracking everything down.
Absolutely. I completely agree. So, and that's me. I am prone to jump a little bit more full on into lines. I've realized, after I've gotten made fun of it by almost everybody I know. So it's not even, what I mean? Like, one guy messing with me. And what's weird? I never even took notice to it. I just kind of look on my shelf and it's like, oh, now I have 10 of them. Sweet. All right. What can you really do? But, I mean, and I'll go ahead and cue into me if you're done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. I think people who follow my site, my YouTube, things like that, will know pretty obviously, but for those who are listening that don't really know too much about me or my collecting, yeah, definitely started off with Transformers and things like that. And I have a feeling I'll always collect Transformers in some way, shape, or form. I'm definitely leaning more towards the Masterpiece figures, but even though I want to sell off my classics, there's part of me that's kind of just like timid about it, and it's just this overall feeling that I am not going to be able to sell them all at once. So I'll have like this extended period of time where I'm just kind of looking at a half complete classics collection or a fourth complete, and it's just going to piss me off. And I'll start like rebuying them and stuff like that. Like I was telling you guys outside of the podcast, I wish there was just some guy with $8,000 like, well, I want to get into classics and this is perfect. I'd sell it all in a heartbeat, But that's where I'm at right now, because it's going to be hard. If I could give it all away in one shot, it'd be so easy. Just buy, detolf. But, just seeing this piece go or that piece go, you know what I mean? I don't know. But eventually that's the plan, selling off my classics so that I can focus on Masterpiece and things like that. The release schedules of Masterpieces are much more in line with what I'd like to spend in terms of just buying, waiting for pre-orders and things like that, Transformers-wise. I've really gone head over heels into collecting various lines of Japanese mecha, whether it's Gundams, whether it's Mazinger, whether it's Get a Robo, just looking at my shelf here, tons of Super Robot Wars, original generation stuff. Lots of different manufacturers. I really love diecast or Goken figures. A lot of people refer to it as Chogoken, but that's actually a Bandai copyrighted term, so when you say Chogoken, that refers to Bandai specific diecast lines. But yeah, just Goken figures in general. I love them. I love the feel of diecast, just the way it feels in your hands, how sturdy it is, the usually very strong joints that these figures come with to support those die-cast bodies and things like that. Just overall cool quality stuff, and I try to collect more high-end lines and things like that, like the Max Gokin line, Future, man. And Gene, you'll know where I'm coming from when I say this. You know, it's different going from collecting Transformers to where your big purchase is going to cost like what a combiner between $300 and $400, where you get into Future, man, and you're paying $500 for a single bot. So, but exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, it's well worth it. These things are fantastic. The quality is just phenomenal. You're paying for robots with 90% die cast, amazing posability, tons of metal accessories and things like that, and just the detailing on these robots, it's insane. You know, even from a distance, you just see all these fine lines, panel lining, and things like that. And yeah, it's just a whole nother level of, you know, mecha collecting and stuff like that, because there are tons of robot lines. I mean, I could collect like Revoltex and stuff like that, which are $20-$30 a pop, and get the majority of figures that I have on my shelf. But the thing is, it's such a crappy toy line that it's not even worth it. And so definitely higher quality, higher end robots is where I'm at. Sticking to Transformers and stuff like that. Like I said, gearing towards like masterpieces. And there's some other lines that, you know, I'm gonna stick to too, like the Ninja Turtles, the Classics line. You know, what scale are they? I believe they're between 6 and 7 inches. The TMNT, the new classics. Yeah.
Yeah, I like those guys, and yeah, they're about 7 inches tall, I think.
Like those, I'll definitely stick to, but I won't continue with like the basics. You know, those 4-inch figures. I mean, they look incredible, but I don't even have a space to display them anymore. They're all in a box. You know, so that kind of sucks. You know, I have ones or basic figures that I haven't even opened. You know, and now they're coming out with new waves of them and stuff. So definitely can't keep up with that. But for my Gundams, a lot of it is Robot Spirits. It's another Bandai Tamashii line. They are, you know, between 5 and 6 inch scaled figures, but just an incredible lineup of Gundams from different series. A great set standard of posability. They are plastic figures, but they're very well engineered, very posable, and they look very nice too. And for the most part, they're affordable. I mean, these are a line of figures that are between $30 and $40 on release, and a lot of them you can even find secondhand for that same $30-$40. You know, one thing I like is that they don't appreciate unless they're like Tamashii, like web exclusive. Sometimes they'll have these Japanese only exclusives and stuff like that that really get higher priced here in the American market, but they do that few and far in between, you know, and a lot of their exclusives are like add-on sets and stuff. So a very affordable line, very good looking line, and I went from like 1 to 30 of those things in a month. They're just nuts. But video game characters like you, Ian, I know you are collecting the Figmas. Did you get Pit and Dark Pit or no?
I did not.
Ian, can you hear me? Hello?
Yep, sorry.
Okay.
I was saying I did not, and then the little microphone with the line through it was red, which means I was muted.
Sweet.
But yes, no, I did not get Pit yet. I plan on picking it up at some point when it gets to the my local comic book shop. I'll pick it up there. I want to actually see it in person.
But it's something you actually want to get or plan.
I want to get it when in person I enjoy it.
I think it looks really cool. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it does too. It's just I don't have the connection to Pit that I had to Samus or Link. Like there was what, the NES Kid Icarus game, and then not much until Super Smash Brothers. So I agree. It looks like a fucking phenomenal figure. It's just one of those things that I don't necessarily have that connection to. So when I see it in person, I guarantee I'll just end up picking it up. But I'm not getting it shipped from Big Bad.
For sure.
And paying the customs and everything on it. So.
And that makes sense. You know, if it's not something I absolutely wanted, I would not either.
Now, you picked it up already?
No, I'm done with the Figma line.
Ah, fair enough.
So for me, you know, a lot of those classics Nintendo figures and stuff like that, they're not for me. I played Zelda and stuff like that growing up. Ocarina of Time, or Ocarina, I don't know how it's pronounced, is one of my favorite games ever. But I've never played a Metroid game in my life. I know
Oh,
I'm a
seriously?
weirdo for that, but not at all. So, like Link, yeah, I sold mine, but I'm rebuying them now that he's got American distribution, and he's just gonna be, that $50. It's like whatever. But I'll probably just keep it to him, and that's it. Because outside of that, never played Kid Icarus growing up or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I'm just not that Nintendo fanboy. Now, Bandai Tamashii, like their D-Arts line that we talked about earlier, I'm still sticking full in with all of their Mega Man X figures. Like, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And then there are other lines, like the SH Figure Arts. Or SH Figure Arts.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting kind of stuffed up over here. They're Dragon Ball Z figures. I love Dragon Ball Z growing up and things like that, and the figure arts are definitely a good looking and nicely scaled line of those figures. So I will continue to complete that out and stuff like that too. So it's not all Rabbit, but it's mostly Rabbit. Lots of rabbits on my shelves, and yeah, but cool stuff. And it's nice to kind of expand and just see other things, I think, on all three of our parts, because as much as there are lines that blow Transformers away that I collect, there are certain things about a lot of toys that make me appreciate the thought and engineering that goes into Transformers even more.
Well, yeah. I mean,
So it's definitely a double-sided thing.
for me, when I get a really coolly articulated figure, I'm like, this is awesome. And then I compare that, though, to the fact that it doesn't have to do anything. Like,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to change into a completely different. Like, I mean, like I said, I love my 1/6 Iron Man. I love my Glyos. I love a lot of the stuff that I've gotten. But when I compare it, it's just like, yeah, but here's why Transformers and third-party Transformers are cool. It's because of all the thought that has to go into making it two separate things. That,
Oh, for sure.
on top of that, still have to be articulated in a lot of the ways that these high-end kind of 1/6 scale toys have to be, or these mecha that don't have multiple forms have to be. Like, the fact that you have to squeeze all that engineering plus articulation into something that changes into two different things, I mean, that's where at least the appreciation on my end comes from. Like, you look at it and it's like, yeah, but on the flip side, yeah, there are other things that look so much cooler in terms of their detail and everything like that. So I mean, it's always checks and balances, right? So I'm right with you there in terms of, yes, there's some things that are much cooler than Transformers in a lot of ways, but then they also make you appreciate what Transformers do.
And I completely agree. That's exactly where I'm at. And if you really look at like Mastermind Creations' figures and stuff like that, and all the detail that they have, that fine tuning and things, it's just even more incredible to think that, wow, these things transform.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Holy shit! Because like I'm looking up at their eliminators right now, and I'm just like, yeah, and they transform.
Oh, dude,
Yes, it's crazy.
anytime I want to be blown away by a Transformer, I just look at one of the flight squad. What are they called again? I'm just blanking on it now. The
Eliminators?
yeah, the Starscream kind of yeah, the Eliminators, absolutely. Yeah, sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah, no, I'm brain fart. But yeah, anytime I want to be blown away by engineering / sculpt / articulation and posability and gimmicks, and like those things literally just to this day still blow my mind in terms of what they do. So,
But even something like Quake Wave. I mean, Quake Wave was awesome.
And he's so simple.
Yeah, absolutely. I
But
still
he's
wish
just well done.
I still wish there was a little more paint on him. Like, that's still my big
I think a lot of people want that.
Yeah, but that's still my big negative to him. And I mean, if I was super industrious, I would get out a paintbrush and figure that out for myself. But
Yeah.
that's the only kind of ding I still give Quake Wave is I just wish there was a little bit more paint on the thing. But he phenomenal. And that speaks to, I mean, that also speaks to just how much Transformers still has in terms of a following, that these companies are putting out phenomenal product like that.
Most definitely.
So
I'm with you, man. So yeah. And then if you look at even with the retail releases lately, like Springer and Blitzwing, they look so good, and they transform. Yeah. Like if Springer was a non-transforming figure, I'd be okay with it because he looks that good.
Yep. No, absolutely.
Like he legitimately has those comic, like slender, weird proportions.
Yeah, I like the. I also like the wheels in the ankle, kind of lower shin area.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about that really.
And you know what's crazy? I fucking hated it on what was it, Jazz? FOC Jazz or whatever.
Yes, absolutely.
It looked like crap, but I think because this figure's bigger and the wheels fit inside of the legs a lot better, because the wheels on Jazz were like the same size as this Voyager figure's wheels. Yet they were on these little tiny legs, so they look stupid. But yeah, they look very good.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's very good. Very, very, very good. So, yeah. But, alright, that about sums it up. We'll go ahead and we'll actually do, because I know Gene's getting a bit tired, and me, I've got a couple of things to do before I hit the hay. But we'll go ahead and next week, we'll definitely talk about what we got lately. Some of our newest hauls and things like that. It's just been so long that I've gotten a lot of stuff, and I kind of want to have some highlights prepared when I start talking about that. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm fine wrapping it up for this week. It was just good talking to you guys again, honestly.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. We'll have to do it more often. So, alright, well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up for today. This has been Collector Cast, Episode 1. Once again, I'm TJ Duckett, and I'm here with Gene Unick, Ian Reed. As always, guys, thank you very much for joining me. Glad that we could go ahead and get our schedules together and make this happen. So I look forward to next week.